Let's be honest, finding a good beginner-friendly motorcycle can be a bit of a headache, especially when you don't know exactly what you want. But finding an affordable one is even harder. That is why we've compiled this list to help you make informed choices on your first bike. 10. Honda Rebel 300. The Rebel 300 is basically the unofficial mascot for new riders. Why? Because Honda carefully designed this bike to cater to newcomers. The Rebel 300 comes with a 286cc single-cylinder engine that produces 27 horsepower and 19 pounds-foot of torque, which isn't going to snap your neck, but it'll happily haul you around town, or on your first highway adventure. Not just that, unlike other sports bikes, it doesn't overwhelm you with nonsense. No fancy electronics you'll never use, no weird quirks you have to learn to love. It just starts, rides, and lets you focus on figuring out how to stop stalling in traffic. The Rebel 300 also looks good, especially if you're into that urban bobber style, but don't have the cash for a Harley or a Triumph. And for what Honda's asking, that's exactly the point. You could park a brand new one in your garage for around $4,900, which is kind of ridiculous considering how well built it is. But if the Rebel's laid-back cruiser vibe feels a bit too sleepy for your taste, this next bike does the same beginner-friendly thing, but with way more energy. 9. Kawasaki Z400. Kawasaki designed the Z400 for new riders, but added a bit more sport bike energy to it that isn't available in most beginner motorcycles. This bike shares the same engine with the Ninja 400, so you're looking at a 399cc parallel twin engine pushing out 49 horsepower and 28 pounds-foot of torque. That's not just beginner-friendly, that's borderline spicy if you've never ridden before. The Z400 has an upright seating position that doesn't fold you into a pretzel. The clutch is light enough to work with 2 fingers, and the power delivery is smooth. But don't get it twisted. Open up that throttle and the Z400 wakes up fast. Kawasaki didn't skimp on the looks either. It's got that aggressive Street Fighter thing going on like it's permanently in attack mode. And when you see the price, just about $5,500, it starts to make a whole lot of sense why this thing sells like crazy. But if the Z400's sporty Street Fighter thing feels a bit too hyperactive, the next bike tones it down and brings some proper all-rounder charm to the table. 8. Yamaha MT-03. The Yamaha MT-03 sits right in the middle between a laid-back and a full-send motorcycle. The 321cc parallel twin engine separates 41 horsepower and 21 pounds-foot of torque, which is more than enough to have fun without scaring yourself stupid. The MT-03 feels light and easy at low speeds, but stable enough that highways don't feel sketchy. It's one of those bikes that doesn't do any one thing amazingly well, but does everything you actually need when you're just starting out. City rides? No problem. Dirt roads? Absolutely. Random long ride you decided to do for no reason? It'll handle that too. It's also got that dark side of Japan styling Yamaha loves to push, which basically means it looks like a baby transformer, and somehow that works. And since Yamaha is not trying to bankrupt you, you're looking at a brand new one for about $5,300, which is honestly hard to argue with. But if you want something a bit more rugged, this next bike's got you covered. 7. Suzuki DR Z400S. If your idea of riding includes dirt trails or just like heading wherever that random path leads, the DR Z400S is what you should get. Suzuki's been making this bike for what feels like forever, and there's a reason it still holds its spot. It's powered by a 398cc single-cylinder engine, putting out 39 horsepower and 29 pounds-foot of torque, which might not sound like much until you realize how light this bike is. That power-to-weight ratio combined with its tall suspension makes it perfect for beginners who want to learn both street and off-road riding. The DRZ's strength isn't about speed or looks, it's about simplicity and durability. This is the kind of bike you can drop, scrape, and stall repeatedly, and it'll still start up like nothing happened. As for the price, Suzuki kept things reasonable. Expect to spend around $7,200 for one. But if off-road capability isn't really on your checklist and you're leaning towards something more versatile for city and highway riding, this next bike might be a better fit. 6. KTM 390 Duke. KTM's 390 Duke has built a reputation that's hard to ignore. It's not just a beginner bike, it's a statement. The sharp lines, aggressive design, and exposed trellis frame make it clear this isn't some entry-level afterthought. Underneath all that attitude, the 390 Duke runs on a 373cc single-cylinder engine that puts down 44 horsepower and 27 pounds-foot of torque. That's strong for its class, and you can feel it when you crack the throttle open. The power comes on quickly, but not so fast that it overwhelms newer riders. Not only that, but the bike is also packed with a lot of tech. From the color TFT display to adjustable levers and ride-by-wire throttle, it's got features you'd usually find on bigger bikes. Yet it's still light and narrow enough to feel manageable, even for someone still learning low-speed control. All that tech and style does come at a slight premium though. A brand new 390 Duke will set you back around $6,300. If the Duke's sharp edges and high-tech feel aren't quite your thing, the next bike offers something simpler. Also, if you want to find more information on your favorite bikes, then hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with our recent posts. 5. Yamaha YZF R3. The R3 is one of those bikes that quietly became a favorite for beginners, and for good reason. Yamaha took the core elements that make sports bikes fun and distilled them into something approachable. At its heart sits a 321cc parallel twin engine, pushing out 42 horsepower and 21 pounds-foot of torque. It's quick enough to feel exciting, but not so much that it punishes small mistakes. Plus, the bike feels very natural to ride. The ergonomics lean sporty without being extreme, so you can practice body positioning without ending up with a backache. On top of all that, the R3 carries Yamaha's reputation for reliability, and it stays affordable. You're looking at around $5,500 to take one home brand new. But if you want something with more performance, this next bike might be the one for you. 4. Honda CB500F. If you're after a beginner bike that you won't outgrow too quickly, it doesn't get better than the CB500F. It's part of Honda's legendary 500 series, known for striking that balance between beginner friendliness and real-world performance. Power comes from a 471cc parallel twin engine, delivering 47 horsepower and 32 pounds-foot of torque. That's enough muscle to handle freeway speeds comfortably, and even have a little fun when you want to push it. The upright seating position, wide handlebars, and natural ergonomics make it feel approachable from the first ride. Whether you're commuting, heading out for weekend rides, or thinking about longer trips down the line, the CB500F is the kind of bike that can grow with you. As for price, Honda's got this one sitting at around $6,800, which is right in the sweet spot for what you get. But if you're leaning more toward a full-faring sport bike vibe, the next bike offers all that without overwhelming new riders. 3. Kawasaki Ninja 400. For a lot of people, the Ninja 400 is the first bike that comes to mind when they think of beginner-friendly sports bikes. And there's a reason it's earned that reputation. It manages to look aggressive, ride smoothly, and keep the intimidation factor low, all at once. At the core, you get a 399cc parallel twin engine, making around 49 horsepower and 28 pounds-foot of torque. That's enough to feel lively, but the delivery is spread out evenly, so new riders aren't caught off guard. The chassis is light and nimble, and Kawasaki managed to give the suspension a good mix of comfort and control, so it handles bumpy roads without feeling nervous. It's also sporty enough for weekend rides, comfortable enough for daily commutes, and friendly enough that even brand new riders can feel at ease. Plus, it's also pretty affordable, with a price tag of around $5,700. But if you want something a little more classic, a bike with modern engineering wrapped in timeless styling, this next one might be the perfect fit. 2. Royal Enfield Meteor 350. The Meteor 350 is proof that beginner bikes don't all have to look aggressive or futuristic. This is a modern cruiser with just enough retro charm to stand out without trying too hard. The engine is a 349cc single-cylinder, making 20 horsepower and 20 pounds-foot of torque. That might seem modest, but the Meteor's laid-back character means it's not trying to go fast. It's built for relaxed cruising. Not only that, but the bike is pretty welcoming. The low seat height gives new riders confidence at stops. The upright posture keeps things comfortable for long rides, and the whole bike feels like it's working with you, not against you. Plus, Royal Enfield added just enough modern tech to keep things useful without overcomplicating the experience. Price-wise, it's hard to argue with a $4,900 price tag, making the Meteor one of the most affordable bikes on the list. And that brings us to the very top. A bike that combines simplicity, reliability, and approachability better than almost anything else. 1. Honda Rebel 500. The Rebel 500 didn't become one of the most recommended beginner bikes by accident. Honda designed this motorcycle with new riders in mind, but they also made sure it had enough power and style to stick around after those beginner days are behind you. It runs on a 471cc parallel twin engine, the same engine found in the CB500F, delivering 47 horsepower and 32 pounds-foot of torque. That gives it enough grunt for highways and even light 2-up riding. But it's tuned to be smooth and forgiving, which is exactly what new riders need. The low seat height is one of the Rebel's biggest selling points. It's easy to flatfoot at stops, making it perfect for shorter riders or anyone still getting comfortable balancing at low speeds. Add to that its lightweight, simple controls, and laid-back cruiser ergonomics, and you've got a bike that makes learning to ride feel natural. The Rebel 500 comes with a price tag of around $6,500, which is right in line with what it offers. So which one of these bikes will you give a try? Let us know in the comments. Don't leave without subscribing to the channel for more videos on your favorite motorcycles.